Hi girls, welcome to Zoom Free Wednesday. It's period 5 2 p.m. unless you're doing the work a little bit earlier. So you're going to be using the clip introducing Ernest Titterton, source A, and the information provided in Frank Walker's prologue, source B, to make notes relevant to Ernest Titterton's values. So what did he believe was really important? What were his priorities when he was engaged in nuclear testing in Australia? That is, did he prioritise scientific experiments over human life or human life over scientific testing? What evidence is there in sources A and B to help us draw some conclusions? Think about his credibility. Do you trust what he says to be accurate? Why or why not? And his values and priorities will give us some insight there. Very short clip, but a lot to think about, and you'll be revisiting Frank Walker's prologue. Now you're making some notes. Then you're going to use these notes to write a paragraph that responds to the question, how do sources A and B help to build understanding of Ernest Titterton's values in relation to nuclear testing in Australia? So you have to make specific reference to both those sources. And I'm sure that you've learnt from the last activity, girls, and the feedback that you were given that you've got a topic sentence and then make specific reference to each of the sources. Start with source A, move on to source B. If you wish, you may use this topic sentence. Both source A and source B highlight Ernest Titterton's valuation of scientific experiments into nuclear testing over the impact on Australia's human population. You may use that topic sentence. Please submit the work at the end of this lesson. Again, don't let it hang over you. Work hard this lesson. There's plenty of time to do this work. You're going to have time left over, so submit promptly, please, so that when I go to the assignment box, it's there. Thank you so much. Quick look at Frank Walker. Okay, so he's talking about the agenda. He's talking about the tests, as you will see when you revisit this document. Animal samples, said Titterton. We have to have bones from animals to see if strontium-90 is getting into domestic animals. So this is an experiment that involves looking at contamination, the contamination of animals as a result of nuclear testing, but also human beings. So the biggest consumers of milk are babies, infants, and young children. Milk was handed out free at Australian schools. If the scientists got bones from babies and Aussie kids, they'd quickly and efficiently know how much fallout was getting into the food chain. The group decided that they need to take the bones of dead Australian babies to test for strontium-90. As many samples as possible are to be obtained, the official minutes of the meeting recorded. The minutes noted, as though this might be a problem, that the number of dead babies would probably be small. The scientists didn't discuss the morality of taking baby bones from grieving Australian families. Girls, the families were not consulted. Okay, so read that carefully. Here we've got a very short little clip.
Now, why Australia is a geographical locality is really rather obvious. Within Australia, you can choose very large areas which are totally devoid of buildings, totally devoid of people.
Totally devoid of people, really, Ernest Titterton. Okay, so I think you're ready to start this work, girls. It's confronting, but very important that we know about this. It certainly gives us insight into the shape of colonisation into the 20th century. We still have the exploitation of Indigenous people, but also the value of other non-Indigenous lives was not evident at this time. Something to think about. Okay, all the best.